Do you have a butt? My dad has a butt. And 20 years ago, he heard some of the scariest words in the English language. You have cancer in his butt. Fortunately, they found it early, and they removed it so easily that he doesn't even think of himself as a cancer survivor. I didn't realize how lucky we were either, until I started meeting families that weren't so lucky. 91% of people who get colorectal cancer survive if it's caught early. Now, take a guess. How many people catch it early? Only about a third. For every person like my dad, there are two more that go through a brutal fight for their lives. Nobody expects to get colorectal cancer, of course. But think about your 100 favorite people. 4 of them will. 2 of them will die from it. Unless we get better at catching it early. That's why I spend so much time talking about gross, yucky butts. So please, everybody between the ages of 45 and 75, and maybe even younger if you have symptoms or family history, talk to your doctor about your butt. Encourage your loved ones to talk to their doctors about their butts. Now, aside from screening, the American Cancer Society works hard on 3 other fronts as well. Research, of course, is what we think of first. It doesn't always seem like it, but we're winning the war on cancer. In 1975, half of all patients died within 5 years of their diagnosis. Now, 70% survive, and that's just the average. Prostate cancer now has a survival rate of basically 100%. Childhood leukemia used to kill 90% of its victims. Now 90% of those kids survive. My pappy always liked to ask, how do you eat an elephant? The answer, 1 bite at a time. That's the perfect description of the war on cancer. 1 study at a time, we get better at fighting it. The American Cancer Society is the 2nd largest source of research funding in the world, second only to the US government. In Michigan alone, right now, the ACS is funding 20 different studies, mostly in Ann Arbor. 1 bite at a time. The other big thing that the American Cancer Society does is provide answers. Patients, families, doctors, lawmakers, they all look to the American Cancer Society for support and guidance. And last but not least, logistics. Unless you happen to live in Ann Arbor, it takes a lot of transportation and lodging to save a life. ACS helps with that too. Bite after bite after bite. This fight continues from many angles. Which brings me to my favorite part, Relay for Life. Relay is a huge source of funds for the American Cancer Society. And even more importantly, it's an opportunity for the survivors and caregivers to see that the community supports them in their fight. And for the families that lost their fight, to see that the community hasn't forgotten about their pain. If you haven't ever been to a survivor ceremony or a luminaria ceremony, you're missing out. Bring Kleenex. It's also our way of celebrating the end of another year of important work. Like any other party, it's a lot more fun when you can share the moment with a lot of people. After a couple very hard years, it's crucial that we rebuild this important community event. If you've ever volunteered for Relay, please consider volunteering again this year. If you've never been to Relay, please come at least this once. Just walk a lap around the track. There's no running, it's just walking. So the survivors can see that the community is behind them. Bring your friends and your families. There are usually fun activities for the kids to do while you chat with the neighbors that you run into. And even if you can't make it, you can help just by talking about Relay for Life. When you see your friends, tell them about the weird guy that came to the ball game talking about butts. And check out our Facebook page. Maybe you can help us save some advertising dollars by sharing a post every now and then. Whatever you can do to take a bite out of this elephant, please do it. Even if it doesn't seem like much, believe me, it all adds up. Thank you. Thank you very much.